Alrighty, so y'all know that whenever you see a busy garage in here, I'm not very proud of how my garage looks right now because I like neat, orderly stuff, and it's just a little bit in disarray just because I got a lot of stuff going on. I just got the customer return mowers in and got a couple of my riding mowers in here that I need to transfer the lean to, but in the meantime, I did have this mower come in. I usually don't work on mowers for people. This one is an exception. This one is a coworker's mower, and he just asked me to check it out for him. And so, no big deal there. I just usually don't do them for just the general public, so to speak, just because I don't really want to deal with that side. There's not really a lot of money in it for me. And a bigger thing is I just kind of like to work at my own pace and own schedule instead of having a bunch of stuff backed up. Get a synopsis of this mower. This is a Lawn Boy 6.5 gross torque Kohler engine. It's got the rear drive self-propelled on it, and he says, will not start, or when it does start, it runs very briefly and then cuts off. I can kind of give you all a little bit of a demonstration here in a second, but when I look, the air filter looks good. The oil's a little dirty. So I think it's the typical carb condition on this, and we're going to kind of dive into it. This one should be a quick fix for us. The carburetor's situated back there, so we'll have to take this air cleaner and stuff off, but let me grab a can of starter fluid. Let's see if we can get at least a start for us. So that's very interesting, actually. I did not think that was going to start like that. It almost sounds like the choke. It almost sounds like there's a very minor clog, and I know that I believe on these carburetors, without taking them off, there's like a little jet on the top of them that sometimes have an issue with. What I'm going to do, actually, because it did start back on its own, it just needed a little bit of help. Gas smells good too. Needed just a little bit of help getting going, as I might actually pull out some seafoam and just let it run through there. Run this thing for about 20-30 minutes and just let it sit for the rest of the day. So I'm trying to get it back to him this week, but nothing, pressing. So that's actually very interesting. I'm very happy about that. I'll grab a little bit of seafoam out of my magic cabinet here, I suppose. Just got a new can of this. I love using this stuff. It took me a while. I don't endorse products or anything like that. I just try and tell you all what works for me and what doesn't. And this is one of the products that works. So he's got a full tank. I'm going to throw a can of seafoam in this. Not the whole can. I'm going to throw, about 1 to 2 ounces. because he does have a full tank. I'm just going to let this thing run for a good 15-20 minutes. Just let it sit overnight and just see if I can start it tomorrow. So if I find anything else extraneous from it, I will add it to this video. Otherwise, I will pour this in there. Catch y'all tomorrow. Alright, so I don't think that the stuff, the seafoam, fixed it. So we're going to get into it because I'm not able to restart it still. So I think it's one of the jets is clogged up. It can't be much because, I mean, if you look at this mower, he seems to have done a decent job of taking care of it. So probably just set for just a tad too long. And these Kohlers are especially susceptible to carbs gumming up. So let me get some 10 mils, take that off, and I'll catch up with y'all after I do that. And take that intake tube off as well right there. So I've taken off the bottom bolts of the carburetor as well. Just one to drain out the fuel, one to check to see what's in it. I don't know if y'all can see that very well, but it looks like there'd be a little bit of trash in it, possibly some rust. Let's see if I can get the bowl off here. Yeah, a little bit of trash down at the bottom. Not really that big of a deal, just a little bit of gelling up from the carburetor, from old gas that probably from where it's gotten stored over the years. I'm in the process of taking this carburetor off now, and it's got kind of a complicated choke mechanism on it. It goes to, looks like it goes to the exhaust there, and it will actually stay open when it is warm, and close when the exhaust is cold, kind of a lot like what Briggs engines do, except it's actually connected to the heat of the exhaust as opposed to actually connected to a lever like the Briggs is. These are some T20 Torx bits here we're taking off. This will get the choke mechanism away so that we can take the carburetor off. This should be a really easy job right here for us. Hopefully I don't jinx myself. It's the reason why y'all haven't seen that second Craftsman mower yet. It's because it's hasn't been very fun, I'll say that much. So let's see what we can do here to get this off. I might actually have to take, no, this is all connected, so I think I probably just need two hands. I gotta get it to this Z bend here. I don't know if this pops off or not, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to break it. It doesn't look like it does. So we're going to leave it like that. I'm going to finagle it out of here. And we'll continue on. I've never done one of these carburetors before, so I'm gonna have to look up and see how I'm gonna be able to take this off so that I can get the carburetor off itself. Doesn't look to be that difficult, but I just gotta see if I can get the Z bend out of the way there. Alright, I think I got it, so I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this throttle out here, which all you gotta do is pull it all the way. I need two hands. You see this little gap here, you just pull the throttle open, full throttle, pull that off, pull the spring off, so your throttle's gone. Your choke now, you see this Z bend, you're able to get enough leverage on it to get this Z bend off. Or as the Canadians like to call it, the Z bend. Let's see. What's my snag right now? Nothing really. I just gotta, there we go, release it just like that. And I'm gonna get some pair of pliers and take that fuel line off. I'll get the carburetor off. I'll gotta just take the fuel line off. It'll slide right off. I'll meet y'all over on the bench to do some diagnosis of this carburetor. So I got it on the bench. I actually just kind of started taking a wire brush, but it looks like the jet's blocked in there. So what I'm going to do, usually this works for what I use it for, is I'm just going to get a paper clip, which I've got paper clips that have already been undone. What I usually do is I just pop it up in there. These jets are really small, and usually that will do it. I know that, thanks to y'all, I do collaborate some. Let me get that on the camera there. I do collaborate some and look at many of y'all's videos that are in this industry that do work. Thanks to Jeff's little engine service, I found out that there's actually a top jet here as well that you can clean out. That often happens on the Kohlers as well. So if this doesn't work, I will attend to doing that. But right now I'm just gonna, because the float looks good. I'm just gonna get some of this residue off of this wire brush here. Hit it with some air. Hit it with some air, and then continue on. See if I'm getting good, flow in all of the passages. So yeah, let me grab, let's see, this right here. I'm going to grab a screwdriver. You just grab a screwdriver. You can get Carb spray. I'm going to clean it out with Carb spray, but I like to scrape it out. Just like so, and grab me a rag. So just grabbing a rag and just doing that. A little bit of Carb spray will help this as well, to break it up, because you want to get most of that out of there. May not be able to get it all, but some carb cleaner. Basically got it all for us there. Just making sure didn't get the camera wet while we did that. Tough little spots right there. We'll wipe it out again. The bowl's good after this. Throw a little of it in here in the jet. Then what I like to do is I take it over to the air compressor and just throw some compressed air through it, make sure all the passages are clear, and then I end up putting it back together and trying it out. So I'll catch y'all up when I get it put back together. If y'all pardon the chainsaw, they're cutting some trees next door, but I just wanted to point out there's a spacer here that actually on this particular Kohler goes in on the third bolt here on the air filter, actually goes in between the air filter and the engine, kind of back there, if you see that spacer. I just wanted to point that out before I tightened all these down. So let me finish tightening these down and we'll get it out here and see if we can get this thing running. Alright, y'all ready to see this thing run, hopefully? hopefully it will. Hopefully that top tube got blown out when I did that as well. So let's see. Alright, so that didn't quite get it all. Probably going to go a little bit further and take the jet off. Clean all that good stuff out. Including that top jet, because it'll run once you get it started. Runs just fine. But restarting it and starting it when it's cold is a bear. So that's the issue. So let me take back these 3 bolts off, and that'll get me to where I can get to the screw to take that top tube off. I'll show y'all once I get it back on the bench. So this tube, or that top jet, is right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's easy. I think I can access it. I just took the cover off. Just got to take the throttle screw off here off the top. Kind of the throttle stop screw. Just kind of take a mental note of where it was. And take it off. Don't get this mixed up with the jet, which you shouldn't be able to, because one's got holes in it, one doesn't. Jet screw actually just pops off, so it doesn't even have any threads on it or anything. So let's see if I can get this off. You just gotta be really careful. We're gonna pry it up just like that. You can see that there's some gunk, potentially. That little jet right there on the edge. It's probably where we have our clog at. Let me see if I can find a flashlight for y'all. Give it a look. It's the typical can't find anything in the garage day, it seems. Alright, so there we go. Flashlight. Let's look. So, I don't know if y'all can see that, but it does appear to be blocked. So we're gonna take some handy dandy paper clip wire. That was a little tough to get out, folks. So let's see. Might actually need to get a smaller wire for this. Makes you wonder why in the world they would put such small jets on a push mower like this. With this ethanol gas, just kind of blows my mind, but just gonna keep working this back and forth here. Hopefully I can get something out of it. So you can see it is pretty gummed up. Might grab a little carb cleaner and spray into it. I can see it. Let's see if y'all can see it. So anyways, clean this out with a wire. I think you gotta get a smaller wire, truthfully. I'll make this work. So let's get just a couple little strands of it. That might even be too small. But it is super small. Let me grab about 3 or 4 strands of this, see if I can get it in there. 2. That wire is super small. That gap is super small in there. So I'm going to continue working on this, and we'll pop that tube back in and see if we are in business. Alright, here we go at take 2. After doing the top jet. Fine once you get it started. It's just a pain to get started. We'll put the air filter back on it. I'm just going to let it run for maybe a good 20 to 30 minutes to see if it'll clear itself out. If not, I'm going to have to go even further and actually physically take the jet out of the carburetor. So I'm still cranking on this thing. I have tried cleaning. I cleaned the jet originally. Took the jet out of the carb. It's lying around here somewhere. There it is. I don't know if y'all can see. There's light coming through the jet. Yeah, y'all can definitely see that. And then I took out the emulsion tube, which goes up in there like so. Goes up in there like this, actually. Excuse me. Cleaned out all the jets. I can see light through all of them. Light coming through it. I have cleaned the top jet again, and as you can see, I have a wire stuck through it. Completely through it. Oops. I was trying to showcase y'all that I have the wire through it. But, there. And I'll tell you what, there is no reason, because it'll start and it won't start, but when I give it some starting fluid, it will run great, which doesn't make, it doesn't make any sense. It does flutter a little bit, but overall it runs good. I've had worse that have, or I've had many that have run worse than it. So, let me try and get all this back on. We're going to try it again. And if this doesn't work, I might have to field some opinions on trying to get this thing fixed because I'm about all tapped out. So I ended up cheating a little bit here and tested it out before I brought it on camera. It's one of those called one of those 2 + 2 = 4 deals. All of the ports for cleaning the carburetor. I guess I didn't get that first one cleaned on the top jet, that really small one, and I think that was what was preventing it. And so the second time around cleaning that, finally got the wire through it, and seems to be working now. So I'll give this thing a start and we'll get this video ended for us. Pretty good. They're just a little frustrating, as you can tell by the amount of digging I had to do to get this thing fixed. But I don't really go with these in a lot, and I do want to give Jeff's little engine service a shout out. Otherwise, I probably would not have known that that jet was there. So should be one happy coworker to get a working mower. Okay. Something that works too, right? Oh yeah. So probably just gonna let it run for another 10-15 minutes. Put a little gas in it, cold start it tomorrow. If it works good, I'm gonna take it back to him. Charge him maybe $25 for the job. Just get a little money out of it. Since I got his mower fixed, I figure that's a pretty fair price for a carb clean and a learning experience for me. So hopefully we'll see quite a few more of these coming in the spring whenever I get trade-ins on my customer return lot. And until then, I appreciate y'all watching. You'll see a lot more customer return videos coming soon on the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.